Hey everybody, welcome to this week's video. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that's given support over the past year. We're coming into finals week. We're coming to the end of the academic year, and it's been a difficult one. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out to support our students, support Chabad House, and especially to our students for supporting each other. It's been a difficult year, and let's look forward to better times, peace in Israel, peace around the world. We've also begun a construction, as I mentioned, and I want to say thank you to everybody that has supported the project so far. We have still a bit of a ways to go, but the construction has begun in earnest, and it's looking good, and I want to just say thank you to everybody. You know, this week's Parsha is Emor. Emor means say. The Torah begins that Moshe should tell Aaron and the Kohanim, the priests, that they're not allowed to come in contact with the corpse because it causes them to become tameh, to become impure, which should then prevent them from serving in the temple in the Beis HaMikdash. The wording of the Torah is Emor el HaKohanim b'nei Aaron v'yamartu aleim. Tell the Kohanim and tell them. Why the duplicity? Tell the Kohanim and tell them. So Rashi says, tell the Kohanim and they should tell their children, and so on. The power of education. You got to teach your children. You got to teach your children the values, the mitzvahs. Don't wait for them to grow up. Teach them as children. Then when they grow up, they'll know. Which got me thinking about the power of education. We all know education is important. Everybody knows it. But there are things that stick, that we don't realize they stick. There are certain teachings that always stick with us, no matter what. And I was thinking about this as we were learning our weekly pizza and parsha on Tuesday. So let me tell you a bit about Pirkei Avos. So from Pesach to Rosh Hashanah, there is a custom to read one chapter of the Mishnah of Pirkei Avos, ethics of our sages, every single Shabbos. There's 6 chapters, and every week we do one more, and then we start over again. And these are the ethical teachings of the Mishnah, not the halachic, not the law, but the ideas, the values. So we decided that this week we would study the 3rd chapter because now we're 3 weeks from Pesach. And there's one Mishnah in there, which I always remember the teacher that taught it to me. He wasn't even my regular teacher. I was 11 years old, and his name was Mr. Vogel, and he was our substitute teacher. For one day, I guess he was a substitute or something. And he taught us this Mishnah, and he gave us a parable with the Mishnah, and I never forgot it. That's the power of education. You never forget some certain ideas that always stick, and I don't know why. Maybe it was the way he taught it. Maybe it was the parable that came along with it, which is always so powerful. But never underestimate teaching something to your children or to anybody, because the idea could stick for life. So let me tell you what we learned, and it's connected to the Parsha. Rabbi Yaakov Ish Bartosa, Rabbi Yaakov from Bartosa says, if somebody is walking on the way and they're studying Torah as they travel, and they look around and they say, how beautiful is that tree, how beautiful is that field, or whatever, he's using it as an example, it's like they're guilty of death. Terrible, terrible crime. Wow. What's so terrible about that? To the contrary, I could look how beautiful is God's world and praise God by looking around. Obviously, the reason is because he's interrupting his Torah study. Of course, it's okay to look around the world and say how beautiful it is, and God, look at your creations. The problem here is that he's interrupting his Torah study. So my teacher explained it with a parable. He said there was once a king who wanted to give a special gift to one of his close advisors, confidants. They decided to give him a crown. What more could a royalty give than a crown? Special crown, to wear it everywhere. No, this is a gift from the king. So he commissioned this special crown, and he comes the day, they have this beautiful presentation, and he has the crown on this beautiful plush purple cushion, and he calls in this advisor or whatever, and he presents him with the crown. The advisor looks at it and says, oh, what a beautiful cushion. So obviously that's an affront to the king, an affront to the king. Treason or whatever, it's guilty of terrible punishment. So my teacher explained that God has given us a world. God has given us the Torah. The Torah is the gift that we have. And the world is the cushion. The world is the place where we get to study and enact and fulfill the Torah. If while we are studying Torah, we say how beautiful the world is, we missed the point. The world is the place for the Torah. But the Torah is the most important. This was a value that I was taught as a child, and it stuck with me for life. Oftentimes we're faced with a challenge. The world comes in the way of our Torah. And we have to know that the world is there to house the Torah. But the Torah is the most important thing. And that was the teaching. And that's the idea of education. Some things stick. They always stick with us. We'll never forget them. That was a small teaching I just wanted to share with you. Of course, as much we could elaborate on the teaching itself and the idea of education, the idea of values that stick. Never shy away from teaching something important. Obviously, it's how you teach it is critical. And the parable that goes along with it and the stories, vital. But the values need to be taught. Emor v'amarta. Say to them, and they shall say to them. Good Shabbos.